You, man.
Very,
I
very
don't know
clever.
about you, but I actually think that's a huge strategy that's
Yeah,
beneficial when you draft. Look, again, I'm not trying to give you all my tricks here and stuff like that. You know, I'm not going to tell you who I'm necessarily targeting, but let's just be honest here. I personally think players that are multi-positional are so much more value compared. And if you're looking at them side by side, who should I pick? Player A, player B, very similar, but player B has that second position that he can play. You go play B every time. I think that's what
I
I've
think
learned.
what can happen to your team, it might only happen a handful of times in the season, but you get caught out where you actually don't, you can't get everyone playing that day because you're locked to a position, or your point guards are taken, and a shooting guard who can also play as a small forward, if they're locked to shooting guard, they take up a guard slot that one of your combo guards can play. So yeah, you're totally right. The only reason to take a straight player for a position is they're Jokic, they're Giannis, they're that MVP caliber player. That is the only justifiable reason to really lock down a single position like that. Um,
And I think
so yeah,
Giannis gives you PFNC as well. Anyway, he gives you both
correct.
as well.
Yeah,
So yeah,
and Anthony Davis probably should give you power forward and center. I'm pretty sure he does. Jokic is exclusively center, I think, at this stage, so that's where that's a problem. SGA is SG, and I want to
I I
say
think
a small
PG
forward.
PGSG.
Yeah,
Yeah,
something
yeah, yeah.
like that. There's certain players that for some reason get three slots.
Yeah, I saw Jalen Williams, and I was looking at Jalen Williams as an option last season. He was available at three slots, I think, from small forward all the way to power forward. I think
hmm,
PG back in his prime was also sort of a player that was like that. Yeah,
Even Booker was last season. I think it was PG, SG, and
it,
S forward for some
funny,
reason.
actually, what we're talking about is obviously right now Ben Simmons is only a PG, which is interesting. But I guess he's always been generally recognized as a point guard, yeah. But there was
Hmm.
one season like back a few years ago that he was actually a PG and a PF, which was actually a real odd
Yes.
combination. I remember that scene. I think I don't know I had him or not, but I was like, keeping an eye on him, and I was like, wow, that's an interesting sort of two spots they've given him in fantasy in that sort of sense. But look, I definitely think that's a huge strategy there.